I was in a really tricky situation, doctor, because I was a man of science. I graduated from MIT with an engineering degree. And so I fell in love with the science. And in many ways, I was blinded by the science. And I still remember my live episode with Bobby Kennedy in May 2020, where I told him, vaccines are something I learned out at school and they clearly work. And he said, you know what, Brian? He said, when you get humans involved, this is when they don't work. And he broke it all down for me. But if I hadn't had that conversation, I think all of my science training would have made it very hard for me to see through that. And I'm wondering if you see this happen a lot with doctors that you know and other people in science where is it blinded by it or seduced by it? I don't know what it is.
Scientists actually, I think, seek security through consensus and through guidelines and through their societies. And like you, vaccines weren't a big part of my practice, but I never questioned them. I had taken all the vaccines. I had taken extra vaccines when I visited a rainforest one time. So I took a flu shot every year because that was necessary to be on medical staff, and I took it. I just never questioned them. And then in the book, I just vaguely pulled together some recollections where my brother, who's here in Dallas, he had a colleague who just took a routine flu shot and developed Guillain-Barré syndrome, where he was paralyzed and bedridden the rest of his life. And it just raises the issue. The chances of you and I getting influenza per year are way less than 1%. If we get flu, we have multiple FDA-approved drugs, secondary antibiotics. It's a very treatable condition. Would you and I ever take any risk of being permanently paralyzed from a flu shot? Would we ever do that? And, that was really amplified with the COVID-19 vaccines. And myself and my co-author, John Leake, what we thought was, listen, if the vaccine community now can turn a complete blind eye to a massive number of deaths. In the United States, 19,000 deaths reported to the CDC by doctors who, have determined the vaccines are the cause of death. 1,000 Americans died in the vaccine center, or a few hours later. Another 1,000 died the next day. If our government can turn a blind eye to that, then what did happen over the course of history? And that's when we started to, do our research and scholarship. And we were astounded to learn that even in the late 19th century, people were put in jail in Boston, Toronto, and the UK if they refused a smallpox vaccine. Can you imagine? You're actually incarcerated if you don't go along with the vaccine narrative.
Wow. I did not even know that was true. And why has no country issued a safety review? I know you spoke to Congress, and do you believe that the US?
Hey, I know investing in crypto is scary. It takes a real leap of faith because there are so many scams, rug pulls, and bad actors out there. It's a dangerous business, which is why 95% of people lose all their money. Well, that's why I created the London Real Investment Club, so you can access the hottest deals on the planet and use the crypto bull market to create the generational wealth that you deserve. Join my team of over 100 people from around the world that are making millions of dollars behind the scenes investing in blockchain, AI, Web3 games, DeFi, Bitcoin, and more. Don't miss out. Click the link below to book a call with one of my team now. But hurry, this bull market will end soon.
I know investing crypto can be scary. That's why you gotta join the investment club. Pull the trigger. Let's do this.
Will at some point do that. Obviously, I can see what Bobby's doing in there, but he's got a lot of things to do. How come no country has come out, and do you think they will?
It was the topic of my Chautauqua lecture. I recently lectured in Chautauqua in Western New York. That's where the Roosevelts have lectured and many dignitaries. You may recall Salman Rushdie was actually stabbed on stage in Chautauqua in 2022. Yeah. But at Chautauqua, Brian, what I did is I laid out these medical controversies where the medical orthodoxy is on the wrong side of things. When I mean orthodoxy, I mean the practicing medical community, the government agencies, pretty much the entire complex. And I pointed out that we had a cocaine epidemic. The first great cocaine epidemic was 1860 to 1920. Every medicinal made by Merck and Sanofi and all the drug companies was derivatives of cocaine. Cocaine was in Chianti wine, Coca-Cola. And all the journal articles were all about the salutary effects of cocaine. William Halsted, the father of modern surgery, became a cocaine addict because he was using it as an anesthetic and also self-experimenting. Sigmund Freud became a cocaine addict. So this was so bad that the doctors weren't doing anything about this. Coca-Cola had to voluntarily pull it out of their products. So did the makers of Chianti wine, Pemberton wines. And it went all the way to Woodrow Wilson, who started to take action in 1913. Finally, in the UK, they just banned it. But the doctors, the point is, for 60 years, the doctors didn't step forward. There was one paper published in JAMA, our major medical journal in the United States, that expressed any concern about the rampant addictive properties of cocaine used in modern medicine. So that was the first example of 60 years the medical community could not rein it in on safety. The next example is smoking. Now, smoking, I put that 1920 all the way to at least 1964. And we had Sir Austin Bradford Hill, as well as William Dowley in the UK, present compelling data that smoking causes lung cancer. They presented it. They did a follow-up study. It was convincing. The entire medical community rejected them because the doctors were smoking, the nurses were smoking, and Philip Reynolds and RGR had doctor smoking promotional campaigns. Yeah. Everyone smoked at the CDC and the NIH and the FDA and the MHRA and the Medical Research Council. So they were rejected. In fact, the tobacco companies went after these guys with a vengeance. They were smeared and canceled and professionally destroyed. This went all the way to 1964. And Luther Terry, the Surgeon General, calls all the chiefs of medicine to Washington and says, I got bad news for you. Smoking causes lung cancer. They still can't accept this. And then finally, in 1972, the AMA has its first educational campaign about the hazards of smoking. So let me tell you, on cocaine and smoking, doctors were on the wrong side of those arguments, and it took decades. Now they're deeply on the wrong side of these COVID-19 vaccines. And I don't know how long it's going to take. We're 5 years into the vaccine debacle.
How do you get out of a rat race? How do you create wealth not only for yourself, but also for the generations to come after?
I am absolutely amazed with the quality of companies that we're getting exposure to.
We go on to Zoom calls with the innovators and the folks who are building new applications in metaverse, blockchain, artificial intelligence, decentralized finance.
What's going on, everybody? Thumbs up if you can see me.
We are focusing on early stage investment.
And the quality of people that we're getting exposure to, whether it be Dan Tapiero with 1RT, Jason Ma from Open, Yatsu from Animoca.
It's been a phenomenal experience thus far. It has far exceeded my expectations.
We are focusing on cutting edge technologies.
I view it now as the best investment I've ever made. The upside I view is unlimited.
And as a retail investor, I would never get this exposure anywhere else outside of Investment Club.
See you in the Investment Club.